Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I have Predator by Paul Monette, an awesome sci-fi action movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers. You all know the story, I hope, so I will not bore you with a lengthy synopsis. Instead, I will get down to some key differences that I found reading this book. Paul Monette was a poet and activist, and perhaps best known for his books about gay relationships. He also wrote other novelizations, including Nosferatu the Vampire and Scarface. Sadly, in 1995, he passed away with AIDS and HIV. Now, looking online, I was surprised to learn this novelization is easier to find than the less popular movie sequel, Predator 2. Current prices range around £20 in the UK to about £40 for the US edition by Jove Books. This copy, as you can see, is by Star Books, which is the UK edition. The American edition is by Jove Books, and I believe the logo sits around about here somewhere. There are more copies of this edition than what there are of Predator 2, which appears to be far more popular and more expensive. I was lucky to find this for about £7, but prices can fluctuate, and you probably find that it will go up and down. The first reason why I think the price difference between the two movies is that this one, Predator, was a blockbuster and likely had a higher print run. The sequel wasn't, so a shorter print run with less still on the market today. What ones they are tend to be listed at something like £100 or more for Predator 2. The second reason is that the Predator creature is not the one that we see in the movie that is featured in this edition of the novelization, leaving fans of the movie either less interested, disappointed, or just dislike it. Fans are not interested in this novelization because it does not depict the Yautja race that we know today. On the other hand, Predator 2, novelized by Simon Hawke, does and features added dialogue exposition from the point of view on hunting humans. This sort of thing is mainer to fans. The lack of Predator and Yautja description and matching them to the movie has made it less popular to own by some fans, with perhaps only the merch collectors holding on for the completism. Why the difference in appearance? There appears to be plenty of YouTube videos explaining the first Predator design, so I won't go on it too much. However, how it was impractical to film, and the film crew found it less than terrifying, so I will not dwell on it. But it is clear that Monette was given a draft of the script which had gotten changed at the last minute when a redesign of the Predator was needed. This is common in some novelizations due to the planning needed for practical effects and the budget, which is what made the 70s and 80s novelizations more enjoyable to read. That chance of a deviation from what you knew and the extra information. So here are some differences that I noticed. The novel starts with the Predator scanning Earth for life forms, looking at each one before settling on humans to study. I am glad they left this out of the movie, as it allows the viewer to experience the gradual reveal of the Predator with the soldiers rather than having it spoiled from the start. The characters are coarse and brutal, as you would expect from hardened soldiers, with Blaine and Dutch using racial slurs towards Dylan. This was no doubt changed during the filming to make the characters more likeable so the viewer cared more about their survival. Otherwise, you'd just be on the Predator's side. There is also a scene where Billy has a vision from his ancestral past revealing that the predators visited Earth hundreds of years ago. His sixth sense you see in the movie is more on the nose in the novelization. I think I prefer the subtlety of the film. It is clear this early draft had ideas which were used in the sequel, as the spear and the net weapons are also mentioned in this novelization. Also, the Native American connection is also revisited in the new movie Prey. In this novelization, the Predator is a tall humanoid shape-shifting creature with three-fingered hands, which can change into any animal it comes into contact with. No invisible cloak. Instead, it either changes form to another creature, or, more weirdly, at one point in the story, it just turns into a misty fog and drifts off. It also lacks the self-destruct device on its wrist computer. The Predator is not a hunter killing for sport. but instead more of a curious biologist. It mutilates and dissects to try and better understand them. Especially as it seems to be unable to mimic humans, which heightens the creature's curiosity even more. The team discover the predator's footprints and immediately believe they are being stalked by an alien creature, whereas in the film you get the impression that only Billy suspects they are being hunted by something that isn't human, and the rest do not realise until probably later on in the film. The sequence planned for the movie but not used was during the final showdown, where the predator mimics Anna's voice to try and lure Dutch into a trap, but then gives itself away by also mimicking Mac, who's also been dead for some time, therefore revealing it the trap to Dutch. The final fight also differed, with Dutch gaining the upper hand in the fight, for which he then follows the predator back to its ship, discovering many mutilated bodies of the previous catchers. He kills the predator with its own spear, which also damages the ship, eventually causing the ship to explode. And that's it. My final verdict of this novelisation, I'm afraid, is that it's probably worse than the movie. I feel it was a bit of a letdown in terms of writing, with the characters being a little flat, and mostly because the alien in this novel is not the same one in the movie, and therefore not as interesting. This could be forgiven, as perhaps the studio didn't allow Paul Monette the time for a rewrite to include the last-minute changes of the creature and the characters. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe if you wish to watch future reviews. Please also leave a comment if you enjoyed reading the novelisation as well, or if you have any thoughts or comments on it. Thank you very much, and goodbye.